Witness the might of the Jabari. First time ever. Jabari. Jabari.
How you say your name, Young Mooski?
very hard. It's very hard in the house. You got to have love. You got to have love in your heart tonight.
Here's a house for love, and I've learned that it don't take much to break a heart. Here's a house for love, and I've learned.
As soon as you, as a person, decide that you're not gonna lie anymore, and that whatever problem that you have, you're gonna deal with that problem right then where it presents itself, it'll show you a whole new side of you.
Why in the world do you keep saying that you're giving your money to God instead of telling the truth? You're giving your money to the pastor. Why you keep doing this here? Why you keep doing it? Leave God out of the equation, y'all, because y'all keep acting like God broke. It's God's money. God ain't giving you no money and then he gonna take it back. What's wrong with you? Whatever God gives you, he gives you to do what you want to do with it. Just say you want to give the money to the pastor and stop saying you're giving it to God, because God ain't broke. He owns the moon and Saturn and Pluto, y'all. He owns all the stars in the sky. And let me tell you this here. If he give you a building, he qualified to take care of it. He qualified to send somebody your way to pay the building off. That's the kind of God I serve. Now I don't know what God you talk about. The God I serve is rich. He's on the whole world. He don't need your money, not the God I serve. Now if your God wants you to give your money to the pastor, just say that. And stop saying your God, you giving money to God like he broke and he needs your money. No, man needs your money, not God.
Look at me. What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me, so you ain't nothing you can do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what would change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care. And I wish the world thought like that. Youngsters, if you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinion people have of you, long as that opinion is not consistent of that of yourself. You be you. I'm not playing to make you feel good about me. I already feel good about me. I'm good. Message for the youngsters out there and the old school, not old fools.
Anybody trying to date me, my bills are your bills. So
And here we have another individual who has confused the rules of dating with the rules of marriage.
I don't care whose car it is. You're trying to date me. You're trying to take a load off of me.
Exactly when did dating come to mean taking the load off of someone financially? And here I thought dating was just about getting to know someone. When did that definition change?
So my car is your car. You cover the bills. I don't.
No, that's not what that means. If a person is just dating, no. Their property is still their property, and their responsibilities are still only theirs. It's not the other person's responsibility to financially take care of that person.
Simple. You're trying to date me, so my bills are your bills. Period.
But the simplest thing of all is that individuals with this particular thought process aren't going to end up being the most unhappy, because the individuals that they find are actually willing to support them financially just when they're dating and not when they're married are going to be the ones that they're the most unhappy with, because they have the lowest levels of self-esteem and self-worth. And they're going to find themselves wondering, where are all the real men at? Well, the real men are the ones that won't put up with this type of behavior.
Never judge a man by where he's standing, because you don't know how far he's come. See, you look at the man that's laying on the street, but how about what if he was under the bridge just yesterday? See, you judge a man by where he's standing, not knowing where he came from. You see, a lot of people say, well, Shannon, it's easy for you to say that because you this, but you didn't see from 1968 to 1988. See, that's what you didn't see. And you didn't see Shannon go to bed hungry. And you didn't see Shannon not take a bath. And you didn't see Shannon get rained on. And you didn't see his granny crying, asking, what am I going to pay for today? Do I keep the lights on so you can do your homework, or do I keep the phone connected so we can call somebody if there's an emergency? What am I going to do this month? So while you judging me for what I am now, do you know where I came from? And did you know how long it took me to get here? See, all you see is my successes, but you didn't see the delays.
If you don't have a budget for your money, you need to stay home. One of my mentors, a billionaire mentor, won't say his name. He makes $1 billion. Say it one more time. I'm not exaggerating. $1 billion. This dude can tell me when he spent $3. When I first met him like 10 years ago, he said, well, Anthony, when's the last time you spent some money? I don't know. And that's funny, man. I went down to 7-Eleven and got me something to drink. Got me a Gatorade. Spent like $3.32. It was yesterday. He said, the funny thing is, what you make in a year, I'm making a week. And I can tell you when I spent $3. But you can't tell me the last time you spent 100. I see why I'm a billionaire, and I see why you're still making average money. Is it because you're trying to chase the bag? I'm just trying to manage it.
I told you before. Yeah, the king is born. Been broke before, but I never been broken. Told you before. I am the truth now. The truth has spoken. A king is born. Oh yeah, a king is born. Yeah. Oh yeah, ain't no one like me. Ain't no one like me. Oh, legend. You're gonna down so long, now down in for this day. He is born.
All right, y'all. What's up? Thank y'all for stopping through. This is gonna be short. Unfortunately, my guest decided not to show up, so I do not have a guest for the Relentless series today, and I didn't plan anything else. I do got something planned for next week, though. I just hit up Growth Talk with Kofa, but he tied up with something because I thought maybe he can come up and talk to me about something. But yeah, today was supposed to be the Relentless of Joy Bailey, the mortgage boss. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I just got a text from her. She goes, oh shoot, hang on. So let me see if she's actually coming up, okay? So what we're gonna do in the meantime, while we waiting on Joy Bailey, we're gonna go ahead and do her introduction, and let's see if we give enough time to come on. Maybe we're gonna be doing the mortgage boss today. So let's get to it, all right?
To a day in the life of a loan officer that can't get their shit together, get to work on time, even though work is just downstairs. In 2024. If your favorite coworker been with the company for 11 years, done sacrifice, and that job will leave her at the drop of a dime, it is not your time to buy. Sign number 2 that you should not be thinking about buying a house right now, and that is you can't save the difference between your rent and your mortgage for 6 months. If you work for a job where you may have to pick up and leave, now might not be your time. And if you have to sell, you don't want to be in a situation where you sell at a loss because you had to pay out 6% in commission and then getting taxed at the end of the year with capital gains taxes or anything like that because you haven't lived in the property long enough. So just be mindful of that before you decide to move forward with a pre-approval. And so for everybody that has equity in their homes, y'all listen up. You can leverage the equity in your home as almost like an emergency savings account. However, because you have to apply with a mortgage lender and you have to demonstrate your ability to absorb this new debt, that is going to require that you show that you have income to be able to repay the debt when you start to borrow on the equity line of credit. It's not like we write you a check for $100,000. Effectively, what we do is we give you a line of credit that you can use for up to $100,000. Well, during that time, you're only paying back the little bit of money that you borrowed, not that full amount. So it works as an amazing tool for emergency savings. I've suggested because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not be able to have it. While having a hard pull isn't what tanks your credit score, them damn disputes do. No, me pulling your credit is not going to cause your credit score to plummet. One thing that I've noticed that people do is they know that some things are on their credit report, and so they go and they dispute. Those disputes being removed off the credit report is what plummets your credit score. When we pull your credit report and you have disputes, it artificially inflates your credit score. And let's pretend your credit score is a 628. You cannot have a loan, close, fund, and go to the investor when you have disputes on the credit report. We remove the disputes. Now your credit score is a 5 78. You don't qualify.
I can't love you in the dark.
All right, y'all. That's the mortgage boss. We're gonna give her a few minutes and see if she actually shows up. She texted me and said she's coming. I don't know if she's coming, but in the meantime, because this stuff with Trump is going so wild, let's go over and check in with Messy Michonne and her coverage, okay? And then hopefully we'll give the mortgage boss about 5 more minutes. If she don't come, we're shutting this down, and we'll see you guys next week if that's the case. Hold on a second.
That lifts people up.
Nigga.
I partnered with the greatest president of my generation, President Donald J. Trump.
Okay.
On the biggest tax cuts ever for working people and single moms, and opportunity zones for neighborhoods that need them most. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they give illegal immigrants free hotel rooms while our veterans sleep on the streets.
Well. He got that part right.
Trump secured our border once, and Donald Trump will secure it again. This November, we are not deciding simply the fate for the next 4 years.
Child, we know.
We're setting a course for the next 40 years.
Yeah, child, we know. We know.
I see our heartland filled with huge American factories, powered by abundant American energy, building what America needs, creating generational wealth for blue-collar workers. You see, we are the Republican Party of Frederick Douglass and of Abraham Lincoln.
You ain't having no party. Stop it.
Of Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump.
Child, them borders was closed real quick. They was like, China can't come here. Yo, best times of my life was during C-19, child. I don't know why everybody complaining. We was home. We was chilling. We was working. We was doing extra work, child. No traffic on the road.
We are also the party of a young woman in Wisconsin taking over her family farm, an Hispanic father working 16-hour days in Nevada, and a Black teenager in Philly starving for opportunity. We're not just the grand old party of the past. We are the great opportunity party of America's future.
Great opportunity. They changed the letters. Grand opportunity party, y'all. We learned something new.
And there's only, hear me clearly, and there's only one person who can make that vision a reality.
The Lord
Donald J. Trump. God bless America.
All right, child. That's too much. C-19 did bring verses, and it also brought when Tory Lanez used to hold his parties on they singing, the thing came back. When he used to have his Quarantine radio. Y'all, listen. Listen. If you lost your job, of course, it probably wasn't a good time. But let me tell you something. During C-19, those was some times. Okay, everybody be like, "It was the worst thing in the world. We had to be in the house with the family, child, and y'all shouldn't be together because everything was everything." Oh, that was crazy. I had a good time. Then everybody started talking about, we want to go out to eat. Child, what? We want to get out of the house. To do what? We want to go back to work. We want to get out of the house. Child, y'all want to get out of the damn house to sit in traffic. I sit in traffic like last week, sitting there like, y'all wanted to get back to this shit right here. Woo! I don't care about them damn checks. I don't care about none of that. I'm talking about home. You go places if you want to or not. Wear that stupid mask. That was a mess though, wearing that mask. I wore it. I ain't gonna hold you. And when it get too close to me on the ships, I'm wearing it because I don't want none of it. None of it. But child, everybody in my family was working a second job. We was all out there door dashing, making money, child. Good times, child. Good times. I know it's not for everyone, child. I know it's not for everyone. When Trump gave business tax credits, it wasn't just businesses. It was regular people as well. People are so ignorant. Shout out to Lisa up in here. Let me see. Are they playing? Child, I feel like we came at the right time though, but I can't be hanging around here. Don't Trump speak on the last night though, y'all? Don't he speak on Thursday? Because you know he ain't speaking tonight, right? Does anybody know? Bueller. Don't matter. I'm not about to do this all night with these people. So they can keep saying the same stuff over and over. Gas was cheaper. Yay! Groceries were cheaper. Yay! Joe Biden Kamala are bad. Yeah. No. The nominee usually speaks only on the last night. All right, cool. Because I got to get up and go into the office tomorrow. So y'all, this is over for me tonight. All right. I'll be back tomorrow. We might not talk about this though. I feel like we need to get back to some other things while this mess is going on. Maybe come back to it at the on the Thursday show or something. We shall see. Because that might be a big explosive thing when he finally comes out here and speaks. But I'm done. It's been what, 2.5 hours, y'all. That's enough. All right. I gotta go lay my neck. So I appreciate you all though for being here if you're on replay. Shout out to everybody that donated today. Shout out to all of my channel members. I see you. I appreciate you. Hopefully we had a little bit of fun today. I know this is not one of the big topics, but I think it's something cool to take a look at to see what's going on. I do still anticipate a lot more resignations this week, or a lot more job openings, I should say. So anybody looking for a job, child, the Secret Service just might be it. All right. Thank you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I see you all on the next one.
No sound. Sorry, guys. I was saying that the mortgage. I was really looking forward to this stream with the mortgage boss. Not only does she have a phenomenal backstory, which is what I really wanted you guys to hear as her backstory, but also I really wanted to give you the information that she has based on what she does for a living. So, she's just texted me. She's talking about she's hooking up her camera now. And am I still muted? Because Kofa just said that I'm muted, but I think I unmuted the mic, so I'm not sure. If I'm still muted, let me know. But I really, really am looking forward to Joy. She says she's hooking up her mic right now, so I mean her camera right now. So we shall see how long. I'll give her another minute or two. No, what I was saying was this is why you guys should have a backup plan for everything. Because you never know the thing that you plan and if that's going to go awry or not. And I normally, when I do have guests, I do normally have a backup plan just in case they don't show. But today I did not prepare a backup stream for today. I was really looking forward to the mortgage boss. So hopefully in a few seconds she'll be up here and then you guys get to meet her and then get her backstory and we can have her relentless story done. That'll teach me next time for my relentless story that I'm going to do next month. And just remind you guys, the relentless stories are every month, and then I'm here. We're live streaming every Monday, but the relentless spotlights are once a month. So the person that I have tentatively planned for next month, it's 50-50. They told me that they were going to come, but I haven't announced him yet because he said he's coming, but he hasn't given me which date next month he's coming. And so until I have it nailed down, a date and what we're going to talk about and what it's going to go over, I won't announce who he is. And I really want to announce who he is. But you know, when you're trying to plan stuff and work with other people, especially when you're not like a, 50,000, 100,000 subscriber person, don't nobody really want to fuck with you. You know what I mean? It's like you're like, you're an outcast and a pariah or whatever. But let me have like 1.5 million subscribers and making $50,000 a month over here, then people be beating down my door to get over here. But that's how that go in this world. You know what I mean? So you just gotta roll with who you roll with. So I'm just over here rambling. So hopefully, Kofa, if you want to hit the link real quick and kill some time until Joy gets her camera together. I think she has to hook up her entire system. I never tear mine down this because it's all in a separate room. But yeah. Let me see. This stuff with Trump is unreal. If anybody was ever on the fence about voting for this man, I think people are off the fence now. Whoever was the few that were on the fence about voting for him, I think they're off the fence. And for those of you that sit out here and think that this was a setup, I can't divulge in that kind of conversation. I mean, of course, I like a good conspiracy theory like anybody else have, but I'm not going to sit there and sit there and say that this man didn't get shot at, especially when somebody was killed. So I'm not going to sit there just because I don't like his politics and don't really care for him being the president of the United States. I'm not going to sit here and participate in the conversation that this was a setup or stuff like that. Now, will his team use this to his advantage? Of course they would. If it happened to Joe Biden, they would use it to help benefit Joe Biden's reelection campaign. But I think it's safe to say that there is absolutely no hope in Joe Biden getting reelected. I think that's just a foregone conclusion at this point. I don't know if there's anybody out here who thinks that Joe Biden actually has a snowball's chance in hell of being reelected. So if you guys think he's going to get reelected, then say so. Put it in the chat if you think Joe Biden's going to get reelected. Okay, Cope, I get you. Yeah, so I don't know if Joe Biden's going to get reelected or not. I have no idea. I mean, yes, I do have an idea. He's not going to get reelected. Let me talk about next week's live stream. Next week's live stream will be a continuation of the live stream that we did last week. Next week, we're going to be talking about the next week live stream. We're going to be talking about the difference between white conservatism and black conservatism in relation to this election thing. The mortgage boss just popped up in the back again. For those of you who just came through, let me go ahead and introduce her. I got a video package. Let me play the video package for the mortgage boss, and then she'll be right with you.
Welcome to a day in the life of a loan officer that can't get their shit together, get to work on time, even though work is just downstairs.
Here are 3 signs to let you know that you should not be buying a house in 2024. If your favorite coworker's favorite coworker been with the company for 11 years, done sacrifice, and that job will leave her at the drop of a dime, it is not your time to buy. Sign number 2 that you should not be thinking about buying a house right now, and that is you can't save the difference between your rent and your mortgage for 6 months. If you work for a job where you may have to pick up and leave, now might not be your time. And if you have to sell, you don't want to be in a situation where you sell at a loss because you had to pay out 6% in commission and then getting taxed at the end of the year with capital gains taxes or anything like that because you haven't lived in a property long enough. So just be mindful of that before you decide to move forward with a pre-approval. And so for everybody that has equity in their homes, y'all listen up. You can leverage the equity in your home as almost like an emergency savings account. However, because you have to apply with a mortgage lender and you have to demonstrate your ability to absorb this new debt, that is going to require that you show that you have income to be able to repay the debt when you start to borrow on the equity line of credit. It's not like we write you a check for $100,000. Effectively, what we do is we give you a line of credit that you can use for up to $100,000. Well, during that time, you're only paying back the little bit of money that you borrowed, not that full amount. So it works as an amazing tool for emergency savings. I've suggested because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not be able to have it. While having a hard pull isn't what tanks your credit score, them damn disputes do. No, me pulling your credit is not going to cause your credit score to plummet. One thing that I've noticed that people do is they know that some things are on their credit report, and so they go and they dispute. Those disputes being removed off the credit report is what plummets your credit score. When we pull your credit report and you have disputes, it artificially inflates your credit score. And let's pretend your credit score is a 628. You cannot have a loan, close, fund, and go to the investor when you have disputes on the credit report. We remove the disputes. Now your credit score is a 578. You don't qualify. I can't love you in the dark.
Hold on, let me figure out how to get this on the right way. There we go. Joy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You see all that nice little video package I put together for you?
That was amazing. Thank you so much for your patience. I do apologize about my tardiness. I'm trying to teach my son how to drive. And oh, baby, when I tell you my head, it's just
Are you a good driver?
I'm a decent driver. I mean, you
Uh-oh.
know, I have
Uh-oh.
my moments where things don't go quite my way.
You said you got your moment.
I do, you know. Sometimes people honk the horn. They're like, "Girl, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, my
You sorry. Oh no. Oh no. I got taught how to drive on a 1970 Oldsmobile 9.8. That thing is like a yacht, like a literal boat. You know what I mean? It's like a block long and a block wide. That's what I got taught how to drive on.
Oh
It was
no, we have an Acura over here, and it got power steering and backup camera and all that. Look, my hair lopsided, but that boy be having me stressed out. He asked me
you,
all day, "Can we go driving again?" Because yesterday was his first time, and I'm like,
oh no,
"Fine."
young Questy, yeah, he want to go to drive. That's the fun. And let me tell you something. A lot, I have met people. I work with people who don't know how to back up without using their backup camera.
I don't know
Joy,
who gave me a license. I don't know for real, the audacity of somebody to give me a license without having a backup camera. I don't know how I passed. Honestly, I'm serious. I'm
I
dead
can't.
serious. I have
That
no clue.
backup camera is so annoying to me. I don't use it. I don't look at it. None of it. Never. Never. I'm
I'm gonna
old
use
school.
it
Throw
every
that
time.
hand around the back of the seat, turn around, whip that bad boy in the spot. Yeah. I don't use no back. What I look like using a backup camera?
I'm
Yeah,
using that backup camera every
I
time.
know how to drive. And see, I
I'm
drive
sure
a
that backup camera saves lives. Okay,
you you you're 4. You said you're 4'11. You need a back. My,
that
my high
backup
school
camera is saving lives.
my high school and college sweetheart was 4'11. She put her hand behind it. Yeah. But see, she had to sit way. Do you got to sit way up on the steering wheel too, like it's like right up against your chest?
It's
You do
not right
that?
up my chest, but you know, I got a little, you know, I got to be able to reach the pedals and stuff. But it's all good. It's all good. But I'm safe. He's safe. We safe. And I'm here. And thank you so much. I appreciate you
Yeah.
extending the invitation for me to come.
Yeah. How tall is your boy?
He's 5'10".
5'10". Oh, okay. And he
Yeah,
what?
he,
He a
I
sophomore,
was,
or junior?
yeah, he's gonna be a sophomore.
Oh
Plays
yeah.
football, so
Yeah, he might be growing a little bit more. He ain't done. He ain't quite done yet.
he'll be 16 next month. I don't know. I was hoping he was gonna stop growing.
He probably won't. He probably 5'10". Because my uncle, I have an uncle that's a year older than me. So when I got to 5'11" in the ninth grade. It's funny in in eighth grade. At the end of eighth grade, I was like 5'5", and then by the time freshman year started, I was 5'11", and that's it. I stopped. But by the time, see, he didn't hit a growth spurt to our sophomore year because I was taller than him, and then he shot up to like 6'1" by the end of the school year.
I think I don't know if it was Dwight Howard. One of those basketball players had a growth spurt like when they were like 19 or 20 years old, like just he
Anthony
grew like a
Davis.
whole foot. Who?
Anthony Davis.
And grew like a whole foot. Like, what are you
Because
doing?
he was a point guard. That's why he could shoot the way he could shoot and stuff like that, because he was a point guard. And then all of a sudden he just had this last minute growth spurt. And yeah, definitely. But Joy, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I want to get down to it. So the Relentless Joy Bailey. So what we do over here with the Relentless Spotlight Joy is we go into your history. We talk about the things that made you you, and then we also spend a little bit of time on the professional career. So that's why we call it Relentless, because we talk to people who've kind of gone through it and then excelling through what they've gone through. So that's what we do over here with the Relentless. So I'm so glad. And I thought this would be cool for people to, because you and I talk about credit, mortgages, home buying. We talk about that a lot. And there's so much stuff out there that there's so many misinformation, myths, scams, you know what I mean? That we, when I say we, people that look like us to a degree, we hold on to or fall into that get us in trouble. Like the one thing that I don't like a lot, that I get that make me cringe, is the rent to own
That's
path
one of the ones for me too. Yes, same.
because I
Same.
it sounds like a scam.
I hate it. I hate it. It works sometimes, but every loan product is intended. Can y'all hear Jalen? I'm
I
sorry.
can't hear him.
Okay, good. He's playing some new basketball game that came out. He had to download it at 4 o'clock. But anyway, yes, the rent to own or any loan product for that matter is always intended for a very specific audience. Just like how when you go to Target to buy face wash, it's a lot of different options, and they're all for specific skin types: oily, combination skin, dry skin. You know what I mean? And that's how loan products work too. But everybody wants this silver bullet, and yeah, it definitely comes across real scammy because they don't think, okay, in 2 years, I actually have to go to a bank and still get a loan to qualify. So yeah, it very much can come across scammy because once you are under contract, the person that's leasing to you, they're going to keep their money. They're going to keep
Yeah,
that money.
all of it. You know,
They're
yeah,
gonna keep
you got to give them $5,000 down. I got a stepsister who I absolutely beg. She's doing the rent. I begged her not to do it. I
Mhm.
begged her not to do it, and she was like, I was like, why can't you go through? And I think I knew what her credit was. I said, you can get a FHA loan. Why are you doing this? And they're like, well, they're giving me a hard time because I owe student loans. I go, no, baby, we all owe student loans. That don't sound right. That don't sound right at all. That's what's hanging you because I owe student loans. So, and this was right around the time that I got my house. So I was like, what are you doing? But you know, you let grown. You know that I knew at that point she wasn't telling the whole story.
They
So
don't never tell the whole story.
I just let it go. All right, let's start. Joy Bailey, what you in the Carolinas, right?
Yes, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Did you grow up there?
Yes, I'm Charlotte, 704, not 980. I try to tell the people it's a difference.
There's a
I'm
difference.
original.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
the
So you got
original area
they,
code.
they
Yeah,
got a 704 and a what now?
980.
So they
I'm
got two different
704.
zip codes. They got two different zip codes, or they was
Uh-huh.
one and flipped to the other.
So 704 was the original area code that we had. And then
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in the 90s, they were like, oh, we're running out of phone numbers. And so they added the 980. And so, all the new people, they get the little 980. I'm never giving up my 704.
Oh, you got a 704. You know,
That's
I,
right.
now that I put, you can save people number and it goes into the cloud. You'll never know nobody's number no more. So just look for the name. So what does that mean to be from Charlotte? Because so many people got so much pride. Like New Yorker people got a flavor, Chicago people got a flavor, Houston people got a flavor. So what does that mean specifically when being from Charlotte?
I used to be so proud of Charlotte. Charlotte to me has changed so much. It really was like I grew up in Charlotte. I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride, whoever out there, because
Oh
Aggie
Lord.
here. I guarantee it's Aggie and Aggie Pride. Come on now, y'all know how we do. We're everywhere. I went to A&T for undergrad, and then I worked at a radio station for a year after college, and I came on back to Charlotte. And I always knew I didn't want to be stuck. Like you know how like when you go to college, you get a job, and you just your life just kind of takes off. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be intentional to make sure I got back to Charlotte. Charlotte was popping. It was affordable. To me, we had football, we had basketball. It had all of the things. It checked all of the boxes. I have a lot of family members in Washington, D.C. And I remember in the early 2000s, they would show me a house like off Georgia Avenue would be like $400,000. And I was like, what's wrong with y'all? That was outrageous to me. Little did I realize what would happen is during COVID, the city here has changed substantially to the point where it's like I can't hardly recognize it. The crime has gone up. So being from Charlotte before compared to now is just it's a completely different experience, even just in the last 5 years. But what I will say, Charlotte is a brand new city. And when I say that, Charlotte is not like of Philadelphia or anything like in the New England area where there's a lot of history. Everything in the city is practically new. I always tell people you'll be hard pressed to find something more than 60 years old in the city of Charlotte. Anything that had real historical significance, especially when you start talking about the racial divide, historically Black neighborhoods. We used to have a Black neighborhood here called Brooklyn. They went in, tore it up, kicked them out, rebuilt 2 or 3 times. And so everything in Charlotte is practically new. You don't have a lot of old history anywhere.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
when I think of Charlotte, I think of Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! That's what I think.
Yes, Ric Flair is from here.
That's all I know about Charlotte. And growing up, the only thing I knew about Charlotte is that the Nature Boy Ric Flair, he's actually from Minnesota, but he was billed from Charlotte. And I think he actually lives there now too. So
Yeah.
that's all I really knew about Charlotte was the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So growing up, did you grow up with both your parents? How did that work?
So I actually grew up with my grandparents. So
Oh, you're like me.
I was born in Philadelphia, but I grew up living with my grandmother, my grandfather, who were
Paternal or maternal?
maternal, my mother's.
Maternal. Yep, same
Yeah.
here.
And so that was like for the first 7, 8 years of my life. My granddad died when I was about 7 years old.
Oh,
And
dang.
so then my mom moved back to Charlotte from Philadelphia, maybe when I was around 8 or 9. And then she stayed here because everybody was from Charlotte. So my grandmother's side of her family, she had, a few siblings, quite a few siblings. Most of them died. Well, they were all dead by the time I was born. But her sister, of all her siblings, she and her sister were the only 2 that had children. And the reason why I have family in the DC area is because now, to give full context, my grandmother was born in 1913. So what ended up happening was her sister she used to do hair, she had a salon. Well, it was a style. It wasn't a whole lot of opportunity. So they ended up moving to DC, which is why it's called Chocolate City, because there was kind of like the beginning of opportunity for Black families. And so that's why I got a huge chunk of my family up there.
Well, in DC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so my great grandmother was born 1912, yours 1913. So I get an idea of, oh my God, yeah, your grandmother was, when you were born, she was just in her 60s.
69, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I remember oh Lord. So you live with her. How long did you stay with your grandmother?
Jesus Christ. Probably until I was, I don't know, 9, 10.
19, and then you went back to your mom?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How was that?
It was full of conflicts. it was I think that when I used to teach school, and I always have understood that, when there is I guess a adult child relationship, or even in the workplace, where you may have a subordinate, it is always up to the person here to forge the relationship with the person here. You can't just say, hey, I'm here, and just assume that this person that's below you is just going to fall in line miraculously, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so there could have been some more purposeful, more intentional attempts at building a bond that just was not there, because when you have a child, like those are some very intimate moments that you have, during those formative years, right? Like I remember my granddad teaching me how to tie a tie because I used to see him do it and I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what you doing? I remember my granddad teaching me how to ride a bike. Right. So, like, even now, even though I just said that Charlotte has been built over and over again, there's still like little, like there's a park that we used to go to. And I always like that's the immediate thing I think about when I'm driving by, like, oh, I remember I used to, so those sort of things. But yeah, I mean, it was we survived it.
You survived it.
We survived it.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I met my siblings on Facebook. So my dad had
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so I'm assuming this is your father's side. Do you have any additional siblings with your mom?
No.
So you're your mom's only child.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So the father's side. So you met so your daddy's side, he got some kids and you met them on Facebook.
On Facebook. So my dad's side, they was adults. They were grown. They old enough to be my parents. And I'd heard about them, and I remember asking him, but he wasn't interested because they wasn't checking for him. They were not interested in talking to him. I guess because he had been married to their mom.
Uh-huh.
So they weren't interested. And one day, I remember my senior year.
They weren't interested in meeting you. They weren't interested in him.
In him. He didn't know where they were to be telling me nothing about him. They didn't talk to him.
Damn.
They weren't, in relationship with one another at all. And so I remember my senior year of college, because I knew about these people, but I guess they know about me. So I remember my senior year of college. It was like January of 2005. My brother, that at the time he lived in South Carolina, he heard through the grapevine something about me, got my phone number, called me on my cell phone. And I was like, yeah, this me. Hey. And he was all for it. He came to my graduation. And I mean, we've been cool ever since. I have a few other siblings as well, but I mean, like I said, it's not really something you could just like hop into and just like how I just said. It ain't up for me to start the relationship with y'all. Y'all older than me.
Yeah,
y'all, so
I get that.
So so I met I'm trying to remember. I met one of my nephews on Facebook. Like I sent him a message. I was like, hey, fun fact, you're my nephew. And it's so funny because we look just alike. It is hilarious. It's so awkward for me. And then when my dad died, I met my sister, and my sister took me to my niece's basketball game, and I met her. And she just happened to stop by my house last week. So last week was just on a whim. Like we talk on Instagram and stuff like that, but last week was the second time I had ever seen her.
The niece or your sister?
My niece.
Mm-hmm, my niece. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow. She was like, "Hey, Aunt, I'm in Charlotte." I was like, "Hey, girl, hey, what's up?"
Auntie, it's
so
kind of like
got some drinks and hung out for a little bit.
How old is this girl? Well, you say your siblings are older than you, huh?
Yeah, my niece is like 31.
Damn, that's got to be weird. That's got to be weird. Well, I mean, I can't because I have a niece and she's 26, about to be 27 this year. So that's uncomfortable. My sister had her when she was 14. So, and I was 18. You know, when my niece was born, the first of my nieces were born was then. Oh my goodness. No, I understand because I didn't meet my father until I was 30. So, I mean, we're just talking just a few short years ago. About a decade ago when I met my father. So I get it. And, it's kind of weird to try to become family with somebody you spent a lifetime away from. That is weird.
They was like, yeah, so we do Thanksgiving at each other's house. Do you want to do it? I was like, no.
There's no familiar bond there. So they're
right.
just
real awkward.
they're strangers.
Mm-hmm.
They're strangers.
Yeah.
You don't know them. They don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, so how you supposed to feel? Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it felt weird. But like I said, my brother, he has been consistent. Now we don't talk all the time because my life is in shambles. It's all over the place right now. But he texts, we FaceTime, hey, how you doing? You good? Whatever. But he's always around. Mhm. I said
Okay.
I would say he's the consistent one.
Okay. And how old is he?
Ooh, child. He retired.
You said you got
He retired.
you said he said retired, so plus 60.
I guess so. I don't know when people retire.
Yeah,
I
well, he's
don't
got to
know.
be over 60. Well, I shouldn't say that because we know
Yeah,
people
because he
in
was
their
in
40s.
college when I was born.
Yeah, so he was in college. So yeah, he's got to be 60 plus. Oh my God. So your brother might be around the same age as my dad. Because
Probably.
my dad is 63, 63 or
That's
64.
possible. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm 41. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good God. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
How was so did the conflict in the home with your mom, did that ever even out before you left out of to go to college? Or it didn't even out to after you bolted?
We cool. It's not let's go get our nails done type situation.
Yeah.
We cool.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't imagine at 10 or 11 years old having to go back to live with my mother because my grandmother took me in relatively young. So I couldn't imagine what that would have looked like. Well, the relationship now it really doesn't exist. But that's because of her behavior, not because there's any tension from me or nothing like that. It's just her behavior. But that's a lot of, and here's the thing that I try to point out sometimes, Joy. Your story, our story within Black, that's normal. That's a regular story. Many of us have some variation of that story, which is unbelievable. It's kind of sad that we have those shared experiences, and it kind of gives it kind of points to almost an understanding of kind of like how the Black group, so to speak, why we are the way we are. You know what I mean? Because so many of us come from these disjointed realities. I mean, I'm trying to be nice about it. A lot of us come from.
It's very true. It's a norm.
It's the norm. So you went to undergrad at A&T. What did you go to undergrad for?
That's right, Aggie Pride. We out here. I went to A&T. I graduated in 2005.
From
So
undergrad?
yes.
You making me feel old.
Oh, why?
Huh?
Why?
I think that's when I went into grad school.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2005. What did you what did you major in? Because you said you were a teacher first. So what was your major in undergrad?
So, my life is all over the place. So when I went into college, I majored at the time, it was called broadcast news, but during that 4 years, they renamed it to rebrand it because there were more online mediums coming into play. And so my Bachelor of Science degree is in electronic media and journalism. And so I wanted to be on TV. But what I learned very quickly was that TV tells you where to live. You don't tell your career. You can't be like, oh, I want to move to Charlotte and be on TV. It doesn't work like that. You go where the job is. And with television at that time, it was very competitive. It was radically different than the landscape of, say, a CNN is right now. And I remember us studying how Ed Bradley was so cutting edge because he had an earring in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all know Ed Bradley from 60 Minutes, the black guy,
Yeah,
he died
he
2
sure
years ago.
did.
But it was like he got an earring. But they're like, yeah, he an OG. He's already proven himself. So he could do that. Y'all can't do that. And boys, y'all get them cornrows out your head. Because when you do your resume tape, it was that sort of thing. So I ended up going into radio sales because it was a pathway of money. And so radio was fun. That was a lot of fun. So I did that a couple years. And then 2008 happened and the bottom fell out there. You get rid of your advertising dollars and stuff first. So there was no need for me at radio. And then I was like, well, I want to be a teacher. I always thought if I would ever be a teacher, I wanted to do it while I was in my 20s. And so I got a master's degree in teaching. So I taught 7th and 8th grade language arts. And so I did that for
Is
about
that a fancy way of saying English?
Well, it's slightly different, but yeah, I mean it is, yeah, English.
I don't know.
Yeah. Language arts, like it's what I thought I was going to be teaching versus what was actually happening in the classroom was 2 totally different things. But yes, so I did that. And then in 2014, that came to an end because I hated it. Shout out to the teachers. I don't know how y'all do it. I hated it because like the red tape, the politics, it was too much for me. I love the kids though. Like the kids, they're gonna be themselves every time. They just gonna show up and they're themselves. So the kids were never the problem. Matter of fact, thankfully, because of social media, I still have relationships with my children. One of my boys, matter of fact, one of my kids, he got 2 million YouTube subscribers.
Oh,
He
wow.
got married a couple weeks ago. So it's just luckily I have been able to still have relationships with some of my children, but which they're all adults now. But in 2014 I got into mortgage, and so here I am now 10 years
Okay.
later.
Well, I want to back up a little bit because there's a son. You got a son.
Yes, I have a son.
You have a son.
He was
So,
born in
if
2008.
I'm not mistaken, at one point you were married.
No, I was never married,
You were never married?
and I'm still not. So if you out there, Mr. Right,
Mr.
holla at your girl.
Why did I thought you was married to your son's father?
I don't know why you thought that.
I don't know. I don't know why I
We
thought
knew
that.
each other since junior high school, though. I mean,
Huh?
we knew each other since junior high school. But
Junior
no, we
high
never
school. Your son
since
15. Y'all wasn't together all that time, were you?
absolutely not. No. We just knew each other. Like we met in social studies class in 7th grade.
That was great. So how did
Yeah.
you circle back to him? Because
I don't
were
even
y'all
know.
together? Y'all weren't together in college, were you? In undergrad?
Mm, I don't think maybe my senior year. Maybe my senior, I can't remember because I graduated a year before he did. So I think maybe my senior year, maybe. I can't remember.
Okay, around your senior year of college, your last year
Mhm.
of college,
Yeah.
you circle back to him and you got in a relationship, and then your son was born. Was
Mhm.
that freak? Did you freak out when you found out that you were pregnant and unmarried?
No, I didn't know how much kids cost though, so I should have been freaking out.
They
Ain't
cost a lot.
nobody tell me nothing.
They cost a lot if you're doing it by yourself.
Huh?
His father's active, right? If I do think that.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
can't be that expensive, right?
Child, these kids, my God.
I'm talking about bio. If the father's active, I'm pretty sure that the brother's breaking off bread with his son too.
How much do you think you got kids?
You know I got one.
You got one. Okay, y'all. Okay, can you or me or something? Y'all drop in the chat. I just want to know. This is audience participation because I want to before I tell this, I want to just make sure we're on the same page. How much money do you think one child costs? That's a teenager. Because the people on TikTok told me them little toddlers, y'all be paying $2,000 a month in daycare. God bless you. Because I remember breaking out in hives with my little $600, $800 a month daycare bill when Jalen was little. But how much money do y'all think that it costs per month to have a kid? Because
Per month to have a kid?
per month, yeah.
Okay, here's the question. Somebody wrote $1 million. Too damn much.
My boy is 15. He's gonna be 16 next month. He's gonna be 16 on
For a
August
teenager?
24th. Huh?
For a teenager?
Yes.
Oh, he would cost whatever he can go out and work and get. That's what he would cost.
Now see.
I pay his look. That joker eating my food. He laying in my bed. He's soaking up my air conditioning. He's sucking up my gas and transportation.
Man, listen. Child, somebody said $1,000 a month. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I believe
$1,000 a month.
Yes.
What are y'all buying?
Easily $1,000 a month.
On what? What are you spending?
We'll get into this whole like budgeting conversation, right?
Right.
You cannot budget with children. This boy,
why not?
Because you can't. Listen. Let me tell y'all about my son. This little boy, this last year, he was in a junior varsity football game. This boy door dashed. What kind of candy was it? Sour Patch Kids to the house during the football game. My phone went off. I was like, what is at my house? What is $11? Why did you just do that? Sour Patch Kids cost what? $3 in a gas station? Why did you do that?
Way less than that. Because I buy about a bag.
Stuff like that. Okay. And so it legit costs like, first of all, it costs $10 to $20 a day just for them to live, just to breathe, to eat and breathe every day. This not clothes. It's not, go hang out with your friends. It's not any of those things. It's not lunch money at school. It's none of those. Speaking of lunch money, I loaded his thing, his lunch card, his balance, and I can look on it and I can see what he got. Why did you buy 4 Gatorades and 6 chips? What are you doing? Who are we feeding? What's going on? I got questions in the answer.
Is that just for him, or is he sharing the wealth?
I don't know. I don't know what he be thinking in his head. But that's my point. I can't account for what he just do stuff. Like he just be doing stuff, just anything. What's wrong with you? So yeah, I think very easily. I'm with you. I think $1,000. Absolutely.
That blows my mind. I got a 9-year-old daughter. She gets an allowance. It's $5 a week. She spent it.
That's great for 1962, but
that's what she get. So what else she need?
She needs to join a union.
Join the union.
She needs to join a union.
She wants to be 10 years. She get $5 a week. That's it, on her own little kid debit card. That's all she get. If she needs something, she got to save for it. Now she gets her hair done once a month. That's out of my pocket. That's $100.
Yeah.
She got her cello lessons. That's another $150 a month. So we're talking $250. I don't count the child support. That I don't count that at all as a cost for her. Clothes.
So let's unpack that. What do you mean when you say that? Because can we unpack this? Family, let's talk about this.
Unpack what? When I say what?
The child support. You separate child support from living expenses.
I separate child support from the direct money to the daughter. Yes. I don't look at the child support because you women don't. I should say you women. Most mothers view child support as their money. They don't view it as what it actually is, it actually belongs to the kid. It don't belong to you. But most women, if you listen to them talk about the child support, they talk about it in terms of my money, reimbursing me for this and reimbursing me for that. I remember I got into it one time with my daughter's mother. She was wanting a raise, and she was like, "Well, my rent went up and this, that, and the third." I said, my daughter don't pay no rent. That's your bill. You gonna have that bill regardless of that baby there or not. But see, I look at things differently. So I separated out because I know that money ain't going directly to her. Now, is there some portions of it being spent on her? Probably. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's how I look at it. What I'm talking about is the expense, is the direct money to the kid. I don't think the child support is direct money to the kid. Now, that's what it's supposed to be, but that's not how it's used. So I kind of look at things the way it is versus what it should be. So the way it is, okay, she got cello lessons. She got, her lunch money for the week. You know what I mean? She has her standing hair appointment. She has the occasional field trip or outing. She may, might need a new outfit here or there. You know what I mean? She's not hit a growth sport yet, so I'm not running through clothes.
Woo, honey, let me tell you, that ain't no fun neither.
Yeah.
That is not fun.
I imagine I'm about between $450 and $500 of out of pocket expenses for my daughter every month.
On top of child support, so like $1,000. There you go, boom. Like I said.
No, you can't. It's not on top of child support. The child support don't touch her.
Well, okay, so I guess that's kind of semantics because every household is a little bit different. But so there was a conversation that I'd had recently where I was having this conversation with his dad, and he was flabbergasted at the idea of $1,000. Like, who you telling me the teenagers have $1,000? Why are they walking around with $1,000 a month? Okay, here's a great one. $15 an hour, get you a job at the Wendy's. All you got to do is work 2 days a week, like 2 full shifts. You know what I'm saying? Boom, you at your $1,000.
That's what you told the father?
That is completely normal. Totally normal. These kids are expensive. Football.
They are as expensive as you want them to participate in. Like, okay, I do the cello. I forgot about gymnastics, but that's only a few months out of the year. The gymnastics, the cello. But no, I'm averaging out. I separate the child support out. So the actual direct cost of entertainment, development, and growth, $475 to $500. That includes hair pieces. That includes going out with, like, just the other day, she wanted to go out with her friends. That was, she spent a little. She knew. She goes, I spent all my money on my card. I didn't save for this, and I knew. But can I borrow against my money next month? Yes, you can borrow against your money. That's what I'm terrible. So if she got to go over that, like for stuff with her friends, her allowance, that's what her friends stuff. But this is teaching, So like next month she won't be able to get that because she's already into her allowance next month, $20 into her allowance.
Yeah, I mean, girls' hair is expensive.
Hers is about, it's $110 a month.
Yeah, I believe it. That's easy to believe that.
I don't consider that to be expensive.
No, that's about right. No, I will agree with that. Absolutely. I think so. Boys' haircuts have gotten more expensive now.
They $50 up here.
Yeah.
And the jokers want a tip. No, here's a tip. Lower your prices.
Yeah. Right. Real. So for him, he is into girls, right? So he got a job. He could start going out with girls and stuff like that. And he learned
real quick. What are you telling him about these girls?
What do you mean?
What are you telling about these girls? Don't get used, don't get finessed.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you telling them the truth?
He wanted to take the girl out, and I mean, he planned. It was the cutest thing. He was so stressed about planning this, and he wanted to go here and wanted to go there. I could okay, we do all of the things. I took him to get a fresh haircut. I said, because girls like a fresh haircut. You know, got him a fresh haircut. He had on a nice little whatever outfit, and I think they went to like Dave and Buster's at the mall, and he got her something to eat from the food court because he was like, "Oh, we can do that." I said, "Whoa." How you start is how you gotta finish. Now you can't start up here and then start go. Hey. So you know the mall was cute. It was fine. It was what it was. But I think with him, like I said, his expenses for me, this is what I feel. I feel like his job money is his money. Like you spend it however you want to.
Oh, he
It's
works?
not a requirement for you to work. You're not an adult. It's
Yeah.
it's not mandatory. I don't expect for you to start paying an electric bill. You're a child.
No.
You know,
But,
I don't think
but
that's
you got mothers out here doing that though. They're putting their sons to work and then contribute to the household. That ain't I'm a big that's why I got into it with my daughter. I said, Victory ain't got no household bill. Whatever your bill is in that household, that's your bill.
Yeah,
I don't believe kids could be no, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, contributes to this water bill. Like contributes meaning like running up my electric bill and stuff. But I mean, it's part of the course. Is the cost of doing business, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, like for me, like working is optional. You don't have to work. You're not an adult. Like what we rushing to do. So as far as that's concerned, I will not pay for your date stuff. That is what I will not be doing. I'm not gonna be keeping up your relationships. I'm not.
Pay for his date.
I will not do that. No, I will not. If you want a girlfriend, you better get a job. That's y'all's little relationship. That ain't my relationship. I'm not paying for that. But in terms of like, he wants clothes, shoes, $200. Clothes,
Are you teaching him to go 50-50 with the girl?
No.
Why? Y'all want partnership.
Anyway, like I said, no. So
we're not gonna skip over that, Joy.
We got two, I don't say rules, but we got two things that he know about me that just have been consistent. One, you go to church. We go to church. That's important. That's the thing. You need to get. I don't care how late you out on Saturday. You better get up and you go to church on Sunday. And the other thing is, you gotta make a lot of money. A lot of it. That's it. Like when you get out here to work, you need to make a lot of money.
These ladies want partnership. So why can't he go 50-50 with a partner?
He can do whatever he wants to, but I'm telling him, you need to be prepared. You need to pay for everything. Yes.
Pay for everything for what?
If you taking a girl out, you need to pay.
Why?
Why not?
Y'all want a partner. Partners don't pay.
If she chooses to volunteer, so be it. But no.
No. We can't be teaching him that.
Well, that's what we're teaching. That's what
drizzle.
But you also got to know when you're getting finessed.
How can you know that when you always paying for everything?
You gotta, well, when the girl gets too comfortable asking for stuff is the problem. Like, well,
I'm gonna ask you a manosphere question. What does she bring to the table? Just her? Just a cute smile?
I have no idea what these children are doing, but I know what we won't be doing. We won't be paying for no wigs.
Her mama need to be
paying for no bundles.
Her mama need to be contributing 50-50 to them mall and Dave and Buster stuff. That boy don't even paying all that at this point. We do no. We setting him up to get finessed.
No, we setting him up to be a gentleman. Take
gentleman.
the lady out. Yes.
Now
take
you
the
know
lady
doggone
out.
well, Joy. These women
time.
you know doggone well these women ain't you know doggone well they stomp all over a gentleman. You know they walk right all over.
Daniel, you can teach your children the way that you want to teach your children. This is a subjective subject matter, and to tell me that I am wrong.
I didn't say you were wrong.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Daniel Cunningham.
Oh, okay. Is in the chat. What do you
Yes.
say?
So Daniel, you are welcome to teach your children anything that you want to teach your children. That's completely fine. There's no such thing as wrong. It's subjective. That's all.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
you're
a right
teaching
or a wrong. It's just
you
it's
te-
different.
you're teaching a
Mhm.
fella. Yeah, you got to teach a fella how to spot not getting finessed. Absolutely.
Yeah, because these
Yeah.
hoes don't want nothing but money.
There you go. We on the same page.
Oh, that part we on the same page. What? I mean, what?
We on the yeah, we on the same page with that one, Joy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back. So, can you explain again why you decided to leave teaching? And
I
did you
was
have a
broke.
plan? You were
I was
broke.
broke. I was broke.
So what was the plan? When you decided to leave teaching, what was the plan?
I went on LinkedIn and I started scrolling on LinkedIn and I was like, who look like they make a lot of money? And I was like, and I had a manager. I found a former manager of mine that was doing loans. But I also wanted to be very intentional because at this point I was 31 years old. And I'm like, okay, I got to get it right this time. I done
Oh,
tried stuff.
you were 31?
Uh-huh.
There's something magical about that damn number when you're growing up. Because
Yeah, I
that's when
was like, I gotta get it right this time. I assessed my skills, what had I had experience in.
Yeah.
The end game was to make money.
Yes.
All it is, so that kind of going back to like this nonsense about doing something that you love and your passion and that makes you happy. Baby, you could be happy, you're gonna be broke. Okay.
Gonna be
You
broke. Gonna be
you're
broke.
gonna hate your life. You're gonna hate yourself. And that does not make you happy. Okay. When people they don't make a lot of money and they like, oh, I'm not changing my job because I can do whatever I want to at my job. Yeah, but can you do what you want to at your house? You can't because you're broke. You have no money, right? So that my whole thing was, that's just what I knew that I wanted to. Did I know I wanted to buy a home at that time? No, I'm like, I didn't know at that time. Did I know in 2014? I think I did want to buy a house, maybe, I think. But I just knew that wasn't gonna work. That teaching thing, it wasn't gonna work.
It's something to be said for that 31, 32-year-old number, because that was right around the time I was working in social services and I said, I can't do this.
This ain't it.
I can't do this. I was good at it. I was very good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the money and even with, and let me tell you something. During that time, I was like the director of a workforce development center at the community college, and I was the director, like top dog, bragging rights for title and all that good crap, and I was making 60 grand. But see, that was a lot of money but everybody beneath me was like 36, 37. So, I thought I was doing something, but it wasn't. And then I was thinking, like, even the next level up was like only $80,000. And I'm thinking, and those people weren't going nowhere no time soon. And it was very political. Very political. And a lot of the people were placed in those positions. They were placed in being appointed by the entity that was funding us, because a lot of our money was taxpayer grants and donations. So, a lot of times those slightly higher paying positions, they were spoken for by the old guard, and they were dying in those positions. And I couldn't wait another 20 years for one of them jokers to die. I might get one depending on the political atmosphere at the time. And that's when I started looking too. There's something to be said about that 31, 32-year-old age range where something kind of clicks like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. So you decide. So how did you? So you started looking on Indeed, and you was trying to look at what paid.
I was trying to figure out. So I had an interest in real estate because I'd gotten a real estate license right before the crash. I had already had a sales background because I sold radio advertising, And I knew sales, anything in sales has the potential to pay well. And so I'm like, okay, what can I do? I got a master's degree in teaching. Like, how does this work? And so at that time, Montressa Barbie had been my manager when I worked at Power 98. And this was in like, when I first met her, it was like 2005, 2006. She lived in a very high-end neighborhood, Ballantyne, here in Charlotte. She had bought a home by herself. She was a single woman. She had a daughter. She had purchased her home. And at the time, I think she had an E-Class Mercedes. I said, that bitch ain't broke. I'm going to do that. I knew she would, like, you know what I mean? So she had transitioned out of radio sales and gotten into being a loan officer. So I was like, it must be something here because I know she ain't broke. And so I was like, let me look at it. Let me research it. Let me see what is it. And I said, okay, I think this is gonna work. Now this is before Instagram. There was no, like, it really wasn't a whole lot about it on YouTube. I found a couple of videos, but it was more like the company talking about getting a loan with them. It wasn't this like day in the life. All of those things didn't exist yet. And so I took a chance. I ended up, the very first company I got with, the one thing that I always tell people is that salespeople are liars. We be lying, like we full of shit. And so I didn't realize that they was gonna lie to me in the interview. And so that very first company, a lot of people kind of cut their teeth there, like I've later learned. And they all kind of laugh at that line item on the resume, like, yeah, they got me too, that sort of thing. And so when I got there, now remember, this is in 2014. So when I got there, they were like, remember, in 2014, I was teaching. I stopped teaching in June. I got my last check, I think the end of June. So it's August, I'm broke. So they're like, yeah, I think they gave me like $2,000 a month. But see, here's the thing that I think, and I think this is a good lesson.
$2,000 a month salary?
Yeah, it was like a base. It was, that's what I'm saying. This I've been thinking how they make that for me. So the thing is, I didn't care, because the one thing that I think that is really hurting Black people when it comes to making money is fear. They're scared to make a leap that makes them uncomfortable for a little while. I did not care, because all I needed was an opportunity and a line item, and the rest would be left up to me. Just taking that first whatever, So it was okay. So so I was a teacher at the time. I think like I said, that year I made like, I don't know, I think maybe like $40,000. I can't remember, something like that, $42,000 or something like that. But it was over 10 months, so I was making $4,000 a month, for 10 months. Okay, so that's 40. 10 times 4 is 40. You get it, but not through for the whole year. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, so so it was like literally half. So $2,000. I'm like, okay. They told me that, oh yeah, all you gotta do, you sell this, you'll make like $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month. This is gonna be great. That's what I thought. It never happened.
You said it.
My car got repossessed.
Your car got repossessed. What kind of car was it?
Yeah, it was like a Sentra. It was a Nissan Sentra. My car got repossessed.
You get a Nissan Sentra. You got a Nissan Sentra repossessed.
I told you I make a 2,000. I was broke. I was poor and broke. And my friends was like,
did you at least try to hide the car? A lot of us are trying to hide the car. Did you try to hide it? Like park around the corner?
I don't even remember having a fear that somebody was going to. I don't even remember being scared that somebody was going to come get the car. I just walked out to go to work one day and the car wasn't there. I was like, I felt relieved, if I'm be totally honest with you. I was like, whatever.
You were
Somebody
like,
will take me to
whatever.
court. Yeah, because I mean, it was
You,
what
you
I mean,
you didn't think
whatever.
somebody stole? You didn't think somebody
Mhm.
stole it?
No.
Oh, you knew when it was gone. You knew.
Yeah, but I don't remember feeling like I don't know what I thought. I don't know. This is 2014, but yeah, I had already had a foreclosure, so it wasn't no big deal. I mean, whatever. Like when you don't live, like when you have bad credit, like I ain't scared to be broke. I'm not scared to be broke. It's not fun, but I'm scared to be broke. Like okay,
I
so
think
I
you.
just knew
I think
somebody
you.
was, huh?
I think you hit on something real tough, and it just really sunk in about the fact that we have a fear to do a fear of losing,
Yeah,
a fear of making those leaps. I actually agree because we are all conditioned to be tied to somebody's job. You know, we're conditioned to tie on it. I could have been making more money in respiratory 2 years ago, but I was afraid to leave. I was afraid to leave.
mhm.
I was afraid to leave a salary like it being an employee. And then I finally got the courage to go out on my own, and I'm an independent contractor now. So it's like best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I mean,
Best thing I
sometimes
ever
things
did.
work, but sometimes they don't, and it's okay. Like I'm very frustrated with this generation's idea that simple life experiences are perceived as failures. Like they're not. Like basic human experiences are not. They shouldn't be considered failures, and people are afraid to say. Like there's people they would never tell somebody, oh, you do loans. I wouldn't tell nobody I had a foreclosure. Why? What's the problem? Like you're the problem if you think that's a problem. Like during 2008, 9, 10, 11, everybody was broke. Everybody broke now. Why do I know that? Because I look at people credit reports every day. I think that we have a problem in society with just being truthful. And if you can just be honest and tell what's going on with you, you have no idea what type of burden that relieves from that next person. People are out here, they think they living in a bubble and all of these bad things are only happening to them. They don't realize it's like, no, child, it's everybody, it's normal, relax, be cool.
I
It's
know people are broke. Well, I know. Well, usually when people are broke on the job, when you see it on the job, they increase their entertainment, their fun. There's a
you
whole
mm-hmm.
there's a whole group of people. There are on a given night, there's probably 1,600 employees in the hospital, right? So I have an interaction with a lot of people, and I hear a lot of conversations. These people are going on these $3,000-4,000 trips, damn near every other month, and I know they broke. I
Yeah,
know you're broke. I
and
know
they
you,
put it on
and,
credit
and,
cards
and they
and
go
all this
more.
stuff.
They just go. The money go out. They be like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go all out." instead of trying to hunker down.
What you got to lose? I get it. And like I said, like I said, at the end of the day, and I on my channel, I got like this running joke where I like kind of like I pick at the 800 credit score people. I'm like, oh yeah, the 800 credit score people, they think they better than everybody. But like they think they better than everybody. Like you
Yeah,
can't
my
talk to
dad
them.
is like that.
Yeah.
He
But
brags about his 800 credit score all the time.
yeah, they love it.
And he be like, "Why ain't you got an 8? Why ain't got?" Man, it took you 60 years to get an 800 credit score. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, even with that, when you start talking about just money at all, right? There are some people that in 2024, like I get very frustrated with people that it's almost like they get off on feeling like they are superior to somebody,
Yeah.
like financially superior, and they want to be obtuse for no reason. Like it's not even called for. We can all agree that life is substantially more expensive in 2024 than it was in 2020. It's not up for debate. It's not subjective. There is data to support this is the highest inflation we have had in my lifetime. I'm 41 years old. We've not had inflation like this since Ronald Reagan. Things are way more expensive. A freaking Toyota Camry is $40,000. Like, so this whole I'm up here, I'm high in the sky, y'all get your finances together. You can live on $5,000 a month. Don't nobody need more than it. It makes me, I hear those things from people, and it makes me second and third guess other things about them. I'm like, why are you going out of your way to say something that is categorically not true? You cannot purchase a house in most urban areas making $60,000 a year. It can't be done. And again, in most urban areas. Now, if you want to go down to Dillon, South Carolina and get you a house for $130,000, go for it. But in most urban areas, that dog don't hunt. If you are single, most people aren't single. Most people, they have children. Most people in certain communities aren't married. So there are a lot of things that go into that. And so for somebody to like go out of their way to be like, yeah, you know, $5,000 a month, that's plenty of money. You live below your means. If you were living below your means, making $5,000 a month in 2020, you are no longer living below your means in 2024 because that has caught up to you. Even if your spending has been the same, your expenses have increased involuntarily just because it costs $10.99 a pound to get bacon.
Look,
so it frustrates me when
grocery,
people act like those things aren't happening.
My grocery bill, and it's just me in this house, and I don't buy a lot of groceries, has gone up. It has increased by $150. That is insane for the same amount of food. For the same amount of food, it's insanity. When your car got repossessed, what did you do next?
My friends paid to get my car back. I didn't do nothing. I was like, okay. I knew somebody was gonna take me to court.
Your guy friend or your friends?
My friends.
Oh, they got together, powwowed, and said, "No, we're not having this."
Yeah. I had like 5 friends. I think they gave me like $200, $250 each, something like that. My friends paid to get my car back.
I need them kind of. Can they be my friends too? They got husbands now, don't they? So they can't be friends with me because I got one friend, and he might give me $70 on a good day if I need it.
No, they did. They did because I didn't care. I did not care. I didn't have nothing to lose. I didn't care. I was like, well, somebody will take me to work. I knew nobody was just gonna stand around and not let me get to work every day. I wasn't worried about that.
Really? How did you know that?
Deductive reasoning. Like they know I got a kid. Somebody gonna I'll get to work.
I find that mindset fascinating because if somebody repossessed my shit today, I'm not sitting there thinking, "Oh, somebody gonna get me to work." No, ain't nobody coming. They're gonna be looking at me just like I said to you. What are you gonna do, bro? They ain't gonna be like, "Oh, let me help you. Oh, let me get you to work." I'm on my own.
I
That
don't
is
know.
fascinating.
I was just like, well, like I said, I was relieved. It was a relief. It was something I didn't have to think about. I was like, great, one expense gone. Thank God. Yeah.
My buddy Kofa, Grow Talk with Kofa. Kofa said, "The grace of being a woman, Lord." That is fascinating. That is absolutely fascinating. You know, and it's I tell people all the time, some things are a double standard, and it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, it was whatever. So
I did not expect that response out of you. I really did not expect you to say, somebody was going. I just because that's not how. As a dude, I don't think no one's No, I don't. I don't think that. I don't. I'm befuddled over here over that one because I just
I
doesn't.
didn't. I don't know. I mean, it could have just. I don't know. It wasn't. It literally in my head. I was like, well, somebody get me to work. I really did. Yeah.
Damn, that must be
Yeah.
nice. So okay, let's fast forward. You had a foreclosure, right?
That was in 2011.
What happened? Was that during that
The
time where
bank.
you were transitioning? No, I know the bank came and got your house, but I'm just saying, was that during that transitional period between um, you leaving education and you walking into the mortgage business?
Mm-mm. Nope, that was before. So that was my transition from being a. What was I doing?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, 2008. That's what happened. So in 2008, okay, let me back up to give the timeline and context. In 2006, I was working in a radio station. 2006, 7, 8, I worked in a radio station. In 2008, I believe it was like May of 2008. So my grandma died April of 2008. So in 2000, like May of 2008, I think it was like the end of May, they let me go. Me and this other pregnant girl. I was pregnant. Me and this other pregnant girl got let go.
How dare they?
On the radio station. Now, remember, like I said, you gotta think about it. We were selling radio advertising. 2008, like everything started slowing down. It was what it was. Like they was like, okay, 2 pregnant girls, let's go. Because what was we finna do? We weren't gonna help. We weren't contributing nothing, or we weren't going to. Right? It just kind of, I guess, made sense. Right? So I went home and I stayed home from 2008 to 2010. Yeah. During that time, I was like, oh, I can get my degree because I had a year. So Barack Obama had a year of unemployment. And I think I was getting like $1,600 or something like that at the time for unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was living with his dad. So we were splitting things or whatever. And so
You said you was living with his dad?
we were living together. Yeah, I had a townhome. I had bought a townhome in 2006.
Okay.
I did. I bought a townhome in 2006.
Yeah, I got that you did.
Okay. No, that's important because in I think anytime someone is practicing any discipline, a lot of your prior experiences come into play in your business practices, right? And so a lot of times, some of the things that I say, I don't just like be plucking it off of a tree. I'm saying things from my life experiences. And so, yeah, so I got the house in 2000. I bought a townhome in 2006. I stopped working in 2008. I had Jalen in 2008. And then in 2010, I went back to school. Somewhere in there, I went back to school. Got my I was getting my master's degree. I started teaching in 2010, and then like in 2011, they was like, "Yeah, girl, wrap this up." So that's what happened with that.
And you lost. And was your Jalen's father living with you when you lost the home?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to project any judgment. But normally I don't care about projecting judgment. But I'm just kind of thinking about. I'm not 100% sure what I would do if my daughter's mother was losing her place to stay. I'm not sure.
Well, I didn't know what was happening. So again, like the way that mortgages are set up in 2024 are nothing like they functioned back in 2000 in the early 2000s.
Right. Yeah. If you stop paying now, You start paying now, they'll work. I mean, they'll put payments on the back end. They'll do all kind of stuff for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot more modification, and then the way that they do things is uniform. There was no uniform standard of practice then. They was like full steam ahead. We don't care what you say. It didn't matter. They had me filling out the same documents over and over and over and over again, resubmitting the same stuff over again. All the while, I'm thinking it's fine, and they were still moving forward. I didn't know. So that's what happened with that. It was, I mean, it is what
Okay.
it is. No big deal. I mean, and
So,
then there's another thing. I think that it's funny to me because I don't care about stuff. Like people think I care about stuff. I don't care about stuff.
but you buy stuff, but you
I
want
buy,
a lot of money.
yes, it's fun to do that, but I don't live and die by stuff. Like I've always been like that. It's just a thing. It's okay. It's not the it's all right. And I don't have no ego. I don't have no ego. I don't have no pride. I don't care. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it bothers me absolutely none whatsoever. Like you go through life experiences, you get what you get from them, and you try to apply that in the future if you can. But no, it's just yes, that is what happened. So I
Okay. How
had
did
that. I then in my next career transition from being a teacher to a loan officer, I lost my car. Got the car back. And I remember it being some, I'm gonna say friction, but I do remember there being, well, Joy, why don't you just go back to being a teacher? No, because I knew in my soul I was doing the right thing. I knew it had to be better on the other side. I knew it. It had to be. And so if
that's a
I
rare
would have,
instinct.
yeah, but like I
That's a
said,
rare. A
it's
lot of people don't know that it's better on the other side. A lot of people, when they're in it, all they can see is them being in it.
yeah. But that's because they be worried about what everybody else is thinking and what everybody else is saying. You can't be worried about what other people see. You have to live with your decisions. You trying to satisfy the wants and needs and desires that other people think that they have for what you have for your life. You're gonna lose every single time.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If I lose both of my, I work two jobs. If I lose them both, I already have a plan for what's going to happen. Because the one thing, and there's also something magical about the 40 number, the 4 number, is that you've lived enough life to let you know that no matter what happens, everything gonna be all right. If you
Yeah,
just get up the next day,
it
put your
is.
pants on, and do the thing that you did to get you when you were successful.
Yeah.
I've learned I don't work. So let me tell you something. When I go up on these white people jobs, the white man job. When I go up on the white man job, I don't. People are hard pressed to believe that I no longer have an ounce of fear of what they will do on that job. Not a piece. If you get
No.
out of pocket with me, I'm not walking on no eggshells. If you at my hospital, it was told to me several months ago that the department supervisor, not the director, but the department supervisor, has enlisted a crew of people to help her separate me from my employment. And you know what I said to them? Good luck. Good luck with that. I hope she has fun with her crusade, and I hope those that are helping on her crusade, I hope they enjoy it too. And I said, that will not deter nor stop what I do, what I say, how I move. And I said to the person, and hopefully we got back to him. I said the minions, they can go fuck themselves, and and the supervisor can go fuck herself too. That, and I know it got. Because I know it will be all right. Even if she's able to do it, it will be all right.
Yeah, I think that having a level of faith in for me, I am a Christian.
You a
Um,
Christian?
I try to live by Christian principles. I be trying.
But you want a partner.
But
I'm just meddling.
honey, I ain't thinking about no man right now, to be honest with you. But I am I do. If there is something that I do, I operate off of. Well, it worked out before, it'll work out again. It just and just having that faith. And you're right, getting up every single day. I'm not saying it's gonna be fun getting up every single day. It's gonna hurt. Like I was like this last year in 2023, like the bottom fell out with the rates and everything like that. I was depressed, I think.
I told you I'm stuck in my house because I want to get. Most people don't know I want out of my house, but I'm stuck.
A lot of people.
I got a 3.2% interest rate. Even if I go into a house half the size, I'm going to be paying what I'm paying now or more with half the house. I want out of the house, and I'm stuck here.
A lot of
people. I shouldn't say I'm stuck. I can get rid of it, but the alternative is to go rent someplace or get some. The alternative, it doesn't make any business sense for me to do anything right now because I'm not. It's just. Look, I would bail if the rates dropped to 5%. I would bail. I'll take the loss.
Everybody is. That's what people are waiting on. So there's research that shows exactly what you said is true. Once we get to the 5 handle, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. Everybody that has been preparing and they have their stuff their ducks in a row, they out of there. That is 100%
Joy.
Research-based truth.
I'm stacking money to cut my losses.
Yeah. A lot of people feel like that.
And my home particular, it's not that my home, I'm not upside down on my home. I will probably break even because of the area that I moved into is on the decline. So I'm going to break even. I paid a little bit more for the house than I probably should have, but I've thrown so much at it to where I am confident that I can get it for what I owe on it now, which is probably a break even point for me, which is it's too much house. I've cluttered it out, this big ass house, and I don't like the neighborhood. I've never liked the neighborhood, and I'd rather go someplace smaller where I actually enjoy the neighborhood. And I'm just waiting.
But that's real estate. It's okay. I think again, and I believe your audience is primarily African American. So I believe, again, based on statistics, well, I don't believe, I know Black people own homes the least out of every other demographic. Right?
Yep.
And it's for a variety of reasons. But it kind of goes back to if it ain't guaranteed, they don't want no parts of it. And unfortunately, real estate is not guaranteed. Nobody, all of the people, let me say this, all of the people that were serving real estate up on a platter of it's a guarantee, get in, make $100,000, get out, like it's quick money. Real estate is a long game. It's always been and it always will be. These last 3 years, 4 years have been an anomaly. We've literally seen the pendulum swing from one extreme to the other. The one extreme was interest rates were all-time low. The other extreme is interest rates that are highest that they've been in 20 years. It's crazy. And so, people are online on these social media platforms, and I spend a lot of time on TikTok and of course YouTube, but I spend a lot of time on TikTok. And right now, it's become socially acceptable to make fun of the idea of being a homeowner. And it's very, very disappointing because everybody, from my vantage point, I don't want to say I'm a little jaded, but I'm wondering in terms of my career, will I enjoy it the same way that I did before? Meaning, let's not play parse words. I got paid very well. Now it's kind of like, dang, am I gonna get back to that again? Is it gonna be the same? Because people can't qualify for homes the way that they did before. It's just mathematically, it's not possible.
Okay.
Even when interest rates come down, there are some people that will never be able to buy a home. I do not want to mince words about that. Some people miss their window because they was too busy listening to their cousins and their friends and their aunties that ain't never bought nothing.
So why would they? Why would you believe? Can you give some specific examples of why they're the group of people that might not be able to
Poor
buy a
people.
home anymore? Huh?
Poor people.
Well, you got to define poor people because I think I'm pretty.
Y'all don't want my definition of poor people.
No. Yeah, I do. I mean, you're in the business, so this is not
Right
like
now, honestly, like $100,000. If you're making $100,000, like you sort of making it. And again, obviously,
it feels like.
depends
Let
on
me tell
where
you
you are geographically. Like your geographic region does influence that some. But I said that on the internet. What was it? February 2023, and boy, the pitchforks came out for me. I was like, okay, you gotta believe me. I know all I do all day long is look at credit reports and tell people how much house they can buy. And
What are you seeing? What are you seeing as far the credit reports? What are you seeing in what with people's credit right now? What are the biggest problems? Is it the credit itself, or what kind of things are hanging their credit up? And then what is the income? And then what are their expectations versus what you're pulling and seeing?
I think that when it comes to home ownership for specifically a first-time buyer, they have no reference point. Like you don't know how much something costs until you know how much it costs.
Yeah.
Like I remember not knowing how much refrigerators cost until I had to go get one, and I was like,
"Stop playing."
$2,500? What?
Look,
Right?
I'm gonna tell you.
It's insane. So again, kind of going back to my thing when people are like, "Oh, you got to live below your budget," whatever. Well, you can't help what things cost, and so I think that when I'll say $60,000, that's the number that I'm going to use. When people call and they're like, "I want to buy a house," and this is real math, y'all. This is how it works. When people are like, "Oh, I want to buy a house," I say, "Okay, how much money do you have for this investment?" Because it's not a cost; it's an investment. You are moving your money from your bank account into the house. It is an asset. So, how much money do you have? Oh, I saved up $5,000. Okay. I take your $60,000 a year is $5,000 a month. We're automatically going to cut that in half. You can't spend no more than $2,500 a month, roughly. This is just for illustration purposes. But you can take $2,500 a month, and now we got to figure out from that $2,500 your car, your credit cards, your student loans, and your house payment. Once you get to your 30s, which 33, 34 is the average age of a first-time home buyer, there's almost 0% chance that you come into me and you have no car, no credit cards, no student loans, no nothing. So you're coming into the situation with some debt, and they severely underestimate what that payment is going to look like. And they'll say, "Oh yeah, I want to get a 4-bedroom house, $300,000. Oh, okay. Well, how much would you like for your mortgage to be? Like, what's your budget? $1,000 a month. You're not getting it. It's not going to happen for you. It's over. It's over before it started. And so when I take that $2,500 and I had to subtract out $725 a month for the Honda Accord, and I got to take out, $200 for the student loan, and then I got to take out, $400 for credit cards, it's over. There's nothing left to talk about. So yes, when I'm like $60,000 is not a lot of money, well, it's not. It simply is not. It's not. And so again, this goes back to this whole why are you so scared to go into careers that are going to pay more? You can live the life that you have desired if you choose to go into a
I heard that one.
if you can live a life that you really desire if you are willing to take certain risks and make certain intentional life calculations. What I'm saying is the tail is wagging the dog a lot of times instead of it being the other way around. Now, no shade. I mean this from my heart, but America is formulaic. And if you choose to follow the formula, you are probably going to be more successful than the person that is choosing to go against the grain of the formula. It's prescriptive. You're going to stop trying to be, I think a lot of times Black people try to be the exception to the rule. We are rule breakers. We are rebels. We don't want to follow the rules.
Nope.
We don't want to go to college.
Nope.
We want to get into cryptocurrency because we saw it on YouTube. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Do you remember in 2020, 2021, everybody had a course. Everybody had a course. I was like, y'all know y'all can't go to college, right? That's an option. Because you're taking these courses to learn how to do stuff. You're not getting no certificate. You're not getting a degree. And what are you getting back for it? It just didn't make sense to me. So anyway, I say that to say we have to be a lot more intentional and more strategic with what we do. I have a post on my TikTok right now. I think it got 2.7 million views. And the post was simply about, I said, hey, right now, a lot of millennials are upset because you need to have about $120,000 on your loan application to be able to be approved for the average purchase price in America, which is roughly $400,000. Here are some careers that make $100,000. And I inserted a clip from something that I found on Instagram. And those people were in tech. I said, hey, a lot of people that follow me, they make $150,000, $200,000 a year. Put in the comments what you do to make that type of money. Because honestly, proximity prosperity is very important. If you've never seen it, you've never been around it, you don't know nobody that got it, it sounds like this pie in the sky idea. $100,000 is not a lot of money. That is not the goal. If $100,000 is the goal, I don't know where you're going to end up in 20 years. It can't, that was the goal in 1980. And to be living by that in 2024, 40 years later is absolutely wild to me.
You know what I hear? Here's the thing. Here's what I'm hearing. $100,000. No, it's not a lot to get to. But the thing is, it seems insurmountable to a lot of people because Joy, let's keep it a buck. The majority of Black folks out here doing this shit alone.
But that's my point. It's about seeing it and knowing that it's attainable.
Especially if you're with somebody, if you get out of your way and get somebody too. So
or you could just make better choices. Like, no, I hear you, but no, you don't like. Shout out to the hairdressers, but you don't just got to do hair. Like, it's not like, oh, they don't make a lot of money, but most hairdressers are not knocking it out the park. Okay, like It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can be engineers, you can be doctors, you can be a pharmacist. There's lots and lots of choices. You can get into finance, you can get into sales, but it goes back to this fear that I was talking about. Sometimes you got to be okay with losing everything and starting all over again.
Boom. And I've done that a bunch of times.
Okay. Nobody that's been successful, I've never known any successful person to say that they story went just like this. It just doesn't.
No.
They filed bankruptcy several times, sometimes. Like, you have to be okay with taking risks. And we have to be more intentional with the trajectory we're putting ourselves on. Shout out to the teachers. I love the teachers. I know the teachers love the kids. But beloved, Sugar Plum.
Right on. Hey, Joe, I got somebody in the background. I think he wants to ask a question. You mind taking the question?
Okay.
He's a decent guy. Let's see where we at. Trey Ferg, what's up, man?
What's up, brother TJ? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Seems like I got an echo. You hear echo?
I don't hear nothing.
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Oh man, it seems like I'm like gymnasium amphitheater or something. Yeah, I was listening to the topic a few minutes back where she was just talking about trying to qualify for a home and having the resources to qualify. And I do have a question, but I just want to put this comment in. But I'm living sort of dynamic what she's talking about on the flip side, meaning me and my wife, we've been able to, I guess, negate the issues a lot of people are having just since right prior to COVID, because we purchased a home in December of 19, then COVID came, and by us being able to work together, we were able to, if not sustain, we were able to increase our abundance during that time. And then since that time, right in the height of the highest number of inflations and mortgage rates in the last 2 to 3 years, again, based off the ability to work together, we've been able to purchase a brand new home straight from the ground up and still maintain the same lifestyle, if not more. Now, what I also found out in that time is that I don't think a lot of us really see it. You need at least $10,000 more today than you needed 4 years ago to maintain that regular lifestyle that you were having. And it's unfortunate for us. Our youngest adults, coming out of high school, getting out into the force, we're basically ruining our credit before age 24, 25. We've already spent our limits trying to buy the latest instead of thinking about, let me put a little bit away, let me save a little. So when you get to mid 20s, late 20s, 30s, when you say, okay, I'm looking to come in with my $5,000 already, just money to purchase the house alone, not the $5,000 total going to all my bills. A lot of us are not able to do it because we've already accumulated $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in overhead, and we still haven't even. Some of us do it, and we don't even have apartments or cars. So it's just unfortunate, and I hope that I don't know, something you can give. Also, with these wars, people don't really think. People that didn't join the military don't think about the wars in that capacity. The defense gets the top dollar. Defense and medical get top dollar off every dollar. So everything else just dwindles down. And I think it's even more important for people to try to work together, especially going to the future, because right now it could be ground zero for most people of color, unfortunately, because nobody's working together. And so, but I do want to ask a question. I didn't hear you, but I'm assuming that you're a real estate agent, correctly?
I'm a mortgage loan officer.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're a little higher up. You ain't out there.
I handle the finance part of it.
So in reference to, and I heard you mention something about $5,000, and I know the interest rates are hovering over 5%, which is really a lot when you're looking at a $300,000 mortgage. What? And this is a very simple question. What's the average pay a real estate agent would typically bring home off the sales of today? Because most homes are $300,000, especially a new home. It's over $300,000, and that's just a flat, no basement, nothing special. So what is that
Well,
number looking like? What
I
would
don't.
my down payment be? I have a 750 credit score. I have $5,000 basically exposable income.
Mhm.
I paid all my bills, and I have about $10,000 saved up.
Mhm.
Would I be able to purchase a home, 3-bedroom, basement, finished basement, 2-car garage? Or would I need a supplemental income, a spouse, partner?
So the general did you ask how much realtors make? Or realtors, Lord.
No, no,
Realtors
no. If I was to purchase a home, how much do you think I would need? I have $5,000 disposable income for the home, and I have about
so
$10,000 down payment.
okay. So a general rule of thumb is you can probably comfortably afford about 3 or 3.5 times your annual salary. So if somebody's coming to me and they're like, "Oh, I want to buy a $400,000 house. I make 60,000, baby, it's over for you. You're not buying. I'm not being mean. It's the math, and I think that's the part that people keep getting tripped up on. It's math. It works the same for everybody. It works exactly the same for every single person. It's math. So no, like you're not getting a $300,000 house because 6 times 3 is 180. So you might be talking about like maybe 220, something like that, maybe at comfortable. If you want to push it a little bit, maybe you get 275, but then you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be on the internet mad at everybody. Oh, I can't afford my house. Yeah, I know. I know.
So if they're coming to if they're coming to the table with this with the premise that what Trey Ferg mentioned, 750 credit score, because you and I talked about this a little bit. 750 credit score, take home a $5,000 a month, but got $10,000 down. What kind of house can they get? But they want a $350,000 house.
That's what I'm
Is
saying.
that feasible?
I mean, if your loan amount is 3 times your salary, you can have whatever you want. As long as you can get that purchase minus that down payment and that loan amount equals that amount. That's going to be it. That is the formula. You can get roughly 3.5 times whatever your annual salary is for a loan. Because remember, your house should be roughly 25 to 30% of your monthly income. That's the formula.
Dang.
That's true.
Talk about, you say that you've seen people with 800 credit scores and not be able to get approved for a loan.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that?
So what I have learned is, and I had to get somebody to actually explicitly say this to me because I didn't connect the dots. I remember being a little frustrated. This is in like 2021 because I would get people that would want to apply for a loan, and I'd be having conversations with a realtor, and the realtor's like, "Well," I'm like, "Well, I'm making this up just for the point. Well, they work at Waffle House, so I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out." Well, okay, well, just see if they can get down payment assistance. Down payment assistance is not gonna get you the house. It's your income. And so you can have an 800 credit score all day long, but if your income does not support the payment, the answer is no every time. And I remember hearing this lady say,
Golly.
I remember hearing this lady explicitly say to me, she said, "Really? I always heard that if you got good credit, you could get anything that you want." And that is what people say. They like, oh, if you got credit, you can get anything you want. Yeah, anything but a house. You can't get a house. Credit is important-ish, sort of, maybe, you know. Them 800 credit score people, they gonna tell me I'm wrong, but I mean, I don't care. You don't sue people for houses.
You do.
But it's the income. The income is the most important piece, which again, if we are not making strategic and intentional decisions when it comes to how we are earning income, it's not going to happen. I don't know what else to say. It's very concerning because to TJ's point, he always liked to talk about, you know, joining with somebody and being married or having a partner or what have you.
I ain't saying nothing about no partner. I ain't saying nothing about no partner.
We don't do that. And so while, yes, that would be very helpful. If I make 60, you make 60. Now we in there. Okay. And I'm not talking about no boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about married people. Because y'all, quiet as it's kept, we laugh at you behind your back about that stuff. Like real estate people think that's funny. Because we see
the boyfriend girlfriend's coming to the table. That's crazy. That's that's insanity. I want to tackle this question up here, but I want to answer it I want to ask it a different way. Okay, so he's talking about people. You know, he want to encourage more Black men to enter into the healthcare field because of the income. Let me tell you something about entering. He talking about specifically nurses, respiratory therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists. Here's what I ran into, and this is what people say. You work in the healthcare field, you make money. That's true with an asterisk next to it. So there's a base salary. There's what they're gonna pay you per hour, period. But that ain't what you can earn. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say my base salary as because I'm a respiratory therapist. Let me be. I'm a critical care respiratory therapist, by the way. Which is I'm getting a distinction, meaning I deal with all the, decapitations, drive-by shootings, and all that. That's me. So let's just say I have a base salary of 70. That's my base salary, but I can earn 180, 200. So when I'm coming to the table, I'm not going to come to you with a 700 credit score because, I got challenges. I mean, with an 800 credit score, I got challenges. I'm going to come to you with a 705, but I'm presenting you 3 months of pay stubs that's got $9,000 a month, but that's not my base salary. So how do you handle that? I kind of know because I went through it when I bought my house. But how do you handle that in calculation about what they can afford when you got a base salary, but you have the potential to earn 2 or 3 times what your base salary is?
Okay. So it's like dating. We don't care about your potential. We want to know your track record, right? What did you do?
I'm done with you.
When we are evaluating someone as a potential borrower, we're evaluating you like when you're dating someone. Who was your last boo or your last bae? Why y'all break up? What happened? How many relationships did you have over the last 2 or 3 years? They all just fell off the planet? Like, did you bury them in the backyard? Like, who are you, right? And the reason why we're looking specifically at like the last 24 months of your life is to determine your character. Are you a stable person? Or did you just run up on some luck and get a job as a respiratory therapist? Your base salary is, I don't know, $5,000 a month, and you work a lot of shift differentials and overtime one month, and now you got 9,000. We're not going to give you a lifestyle based off of 1 month's worth of work. We're going to give you a lifestyle based off of your life. We're evaluating. So when you have what we call variable income means it could go up, it could go down over time if you choose to do it. We need to have a history of 2 years. And we're going to take that 2 years and we're going to do an average. And when we average that 2 years, we're saying, okay, well, I guess, for example, you have 2 full-time jobs. All right, you've done it for 2 years. You're probably going to continue to still be that same person that has this impeccable work ethic that you have 2 full-time jobs, right? Back in the day, like when I bought my house in 2005, 6, I was in between jobs. I was moving from Greensboro to Charlotte. I hadn't started my job yet. They was like, okay, well, we just gonna switch loan product. Boom, 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 get in the house. Ooh, okay. That didn't end well. So we're looking at who you are as a person. The thing is, okay, I'll stop with that. I'll okay. That's the
No, no,
answer
no.
to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was gonna expound a little bit more about this whole like 2-year thing. The reason why everything is the rule is we look at the last 2 years of your life to project who you're going to be for the next 3 years, because we consider a decision, a credit decision is okay. You can make these payments. We don't want you to make the payments. We want you to stay in the house. And so what we consider a performing loan is somebody who can make the payments for 3 years. Okay. So the thing is about these 2 years, I think it's really important to understand, like, you can have little hiccups, like here and there. Overall, who are you? Who are you? When you are going into these credit situations, you start out with a 493 FICO score, like I did when I was getting ready to buy my house. Remember, I told you I had a repossession. Remember that story? I started my credit score like a 493, something like that, or whatever, in 2015, and I bought my house in 2017. It takes time to become a bill payer. You don't just magically pay somebody $200 and you get a 650 FICO score and you're like, oh, I'm ready to buy a house. No, you're not. You still trifling. You still the same person. You're not a bill payer. Thing that happens when you have to pay bills on time to increase your credit, you take on a new identity. You are now a bill payer, and come hell or high water, you gonna fight anybody that comes in between you and paying them bills on time. And we love that for you. Okay, we do. So that's the thing about these quick fixes. Everybody wanna, all you gotta do is like, no, it's a process. It's a process. And it's okay for it to be a process. When you have, I don't know, I keep using this number. If you earn $5,000 a month and you saying, well, I pay $2,500 in rent, why won't they give me a house? Because you just asked me for down payment assistance, and you're asking me for down payment assistance because you don't have enough of a gap between the money that you earn and your bills to save. This space is savings. You don't have it. So why do you think that your rent gonna go from here and your mortgage gonna do this? Your rent ain't gonna go from rent to mortgage. You going from rent to mortgage. When you have that space and you have to take a little bit and store it away every month, you're being forced to live a little bit lower than that. And when that happens, you become a saver. You now take on a new identity as someone that saves, someone that pays bills on time. And we love that for you. And it doesn't happen in 4 months or 6 months. It takes literally 12 to 18 months for that thing to start to turn around. And that is the formula to buying a house. It takes
She was
time.
so nasty and so rude that I don't ever bring anybody around me like that.
So nasty.
And that's what happened.
So rude. So nasty and so rude.
You're wrong, man.
They're not gonna like. They're not gonna like that, Joy.
So,
They're not gonna like that, Joy.
so,
They're not gonna like that, Joy.
It's okay. It's all right.
And I'm just saying, I mean, when I started my process, it was an education or a re-education. I had owned a home once before, but it had been so long, and so everything that I knew, I threw it out the window. I had to throw it out the window because it was so different the way that they're looking at things now. You know, it was quite, because I thought, oh, and I'm so glad that it worked out the way it worked out for me, because I was a little bit ticked when it came back to tell me how much house I could buy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, but I over the last 3 years I've earned X, Y, and Z, and they did the average. They averaged it.
Mm-hmm.
They averaged it, and then they went back and told me, we know how long you've been working on rebuilding your credit.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? Yeah. They knew they could tell when I started the process of knocking stuff down, fixing stuff, all of that. They saw all of that. They could see all of that. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the other part that they don't understand, that people don't, that's a shock to people, is when you're in the middle of that process, or let's say you get a pre-approval, you're in the middle of that process, when they tell you can't spend any your own money. That if you need to make a purchase, you gotta come ask to make a damn purchase.
It don't be that extreme unless you're tight, but
Joy, them jokers told me, and I had over 40 grand in my account for them jokers gonna tell me, yeah, if you need to make a purchase over $500, you know, we're not talking about your regular bills, but yeah, you might want to run that by us first just to make sure it's not going to impact anything. What if I can't get a hold of what was that, Joy?
I mean, it just, like I said, it honestly is a case by case. Some people are blithering idiots and they'll spend all of their down payment and closing costs money. I have known that to happen before. They've shown us the money on the bank statements, everything, and they go into contract, and it's time. All right. They like, oh, I spent the money. I know John Brown well, you ain't spent all this time saving up all your money, and we went through all of this, and you spent. I didn't know I needed it. I thought. So Daniel makes a good point. He says we need financial education, and this is no shade at all, y'all.
What's the difference between chasing a bag and financial education?
The problem that we are having right now is not financial education. It's plain flat out literacy. And I'm not talking financial literacy. I'm talking about basic literary skills. Remember when I said I taught language arts, 7th and 8th grade language arts?
Uh-huh.
You learn about context clues and making inferences and processing information and analyzing and learning how to evaluate information. These people are blithering idiots. And it's a nation full of people walking around. Y'all remember the movie Lean on Me? The movie came out about 40 years ago. That means we got 40 years of grown people walking around that cannot hardly read. Things have not gotten better. They've gotten worse. The literacy levels are lower now than they were then. That is the core problem. Like what I started realizing, and the more time I spend on social media, a lot of people are like, you know, they get in the comments and they're arguing and stuff. And I realized people start making points about absolutely nothing. I'm like, hold on, main idea. Let's stay focused. We right here. Why are you talking about this thing over here? We come back here. People do not know how to stay on the main idea. They cannot stay focused. So no, they're struggling to make 6-figure purchases. They don't, I'm like cognitively, like I really need this to be studied. Like there's a link between what is happening right now with finances and how people are getting on it. I didn't know my taxes and insurance to go up. Well, it says so right there. It's a line item right here. Well, y'all should have told me. There's literacy is auditory. It's your listening skills. You get the same benefit listening to a book on Audible that you do if you sit down and you actually look at the words on the page. Your brain does the same exact things. Your brain cannot tell between the two. So if you can't handle reading, why in Sam Hill do you expect me to be able to talk you through it? You're not going to understand it then either. That's a huge problem that we have right now. But you know, whatever. I digress. Somebody will talk about it. Don't nobody want to raise their hand and be like, yeah, I can't read good. But go ahead.
Mickey has a question for you if you want to take it. Joy, it's I guess it's for everybody. He said, do you believe black men and black women should be more pragmatic rather than romantic in terms of marriage in order to build wealth? I don't know. I don't like that. And purchase homes and financial institutions. Huh?
I don't know. That ain't my area of expertise. I don't be getting into the whole like relationship thing. I don't
It's
care.
about
whatever they want to do.
Both things can be true at the same time in this question. You should always be pragmatic as an adult. Anytime you're looking to make any type of major purchase outside of buying the knockoff clothes that we like to buy, a car purchase, just in trying to find in the right avenues to invest your money, a home purchase, you should always be pragmatic. Now, what I wouldn't do outside of this is get a home outside of marriage. I wouldn't do that. So and it's just me. I could have had homes years before I got married. I wasn't going to do it because one, I didn't want to be stuck in a place until I knew I wanted to start settling down. And then when I got married, then thank God that I found somebody on the same level as me as far as thinking about being more pragmatic about how they spend their money, how they invest for the future. So what is it, 13, 22, 9 years into the marriage, I'm retired at 54, now 56 years old. And everything about my income is doubled, tripled. Everything about her income is doubled and tripled. Savings have doubled and tripled.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to be thinking about being both pragmatic and romantic. Ain't nothing wrong with a little romance. And the loving's a little better when your pockets and bellies are full. Believe that.
Yeah. Trey, Joy, you can answer if you want on this one, but I think you and I've talked about this before. I got a question. You got a lot of sisters out here, and this is kind of piggybacking on Mackie's Samuel's question. You got a lot of sisters out here who are homeowners, and there's a portion of brothers that are homeowners. And how do you get those two together when they both got homes? Who goes where? Who does what? Because I told Joy at one point, I said, there's no incentive for a guy if he's doesn't have a family. There's no incentive for him to buy a home. Home represents stability, but then you got all these sisters out here with the homes, so it creates an interesting dynamic when you're talking about trying to get together. What do you think about that, Trey? Because you said that you weren't thinking about no home until you thought about where you're going to be permanently in with somebody.
I think a couple of things. So one thing I will say, and it's not necessarily about relationship, but just something that I see, you gotta be a little bit more evenly yoked, because a lot of times I look at these situations and the husband holding the whole situation back from being able to move forward, or the wife holding the whole situation back from being able to move forward. A lot of times people don't know who they are getting with financially. They be wanting to get with people because they cute, which I mean, it's all fine and good when you 25, but when it comes time for these major purchases and you have to float it by yourself because the person that you like, that's my man, you like, what, girl, you want to get a different one. So I do think that that's something that that is important, but a lot of people, it's frowned upon to judge somebody based on their finances. And I'm not saying like don't get with somebody because they got bad credit. I'm not saying that, But what I am saying is, and I'm not saying like get with somebody because they have money, but I'm saying you have to look at the entire situation. Like, where y'all going? And can y'all both get there together? Or because like if you are you holding me back? Are you pulling me down? Because it's a lot easier to pull somebody down than to pull somebody up. And especially in some of these spousal states like Texas, when you get married, the if me and TJ on we try and get along, right? And let's say we're married, and let's say TJ make all the money. TJ makes a decent amount of money because y'all remember we just got done talking about like $100,000 like your starting point. So he got $100,000, and let's say I make 90, and he like, oh, this is great, but my credit is trash. I can't be on the loan. Well, if he making 100 and I'm making 90, I'm probably living like I make 90, and I probably got a car. I probably got student loans and everything. Well, in states like Texas, I can't be on the loan, so my income can't be on the loan. However, because the spousal state, guess what does have to be on that loan? My debt. Now, him all by himself, he has to qualify for this house for us, and he got to not only be able to carry his debt, but he got to carry my debt too. You gotta know who you know what I'm saying, like who these people are that you are in relationship with when it
That's
comes
why
to.
I believe in the one pot rule. That's why I believe in the one pot rule because, and then here's the thing: if you're gonna marry, if you decide to marry somebody, I don't have a problem if y'all sit down and run credit scores at that juncture and set and put all the I will say the locked away clause and stuff on the table. And then if y'all gonna get married, then y'all work out a plan to fix that so you don't run into that problem. But the thing is, we're not pragmatic. We don't do that. We just go pay the $50 to the court fee, get the little marriage certificate, then go get the pastor $35 and go jump a broom and throw a party and then break and then try to go get something, and then voila, here comes the surprise. You can't get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have not been raised to talk about this stuff as it's that to bring this up to the forefront when you're dealing with somebody. We don't, as a culture, I don't think we actively talk to each other about the fact that we need to be, especially when we start talking about joining with somebody, that we need to have these financial conversations and how we spend money and how we pay our bills. Because you can have two different ways of doing everything coming together under one roof, and you're not figuring it out until you're up under one roof.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. But like I said, I'm not saying to not get with somebody because I'm just saying it's something that you have to consider. Now, in terms of purchasing a home, I don't know why I hear the reasons why men say, well, I'm not settled yet. It's still an investment. That very same man that said this in 2017, that's still not married in 2024, you done lost that on $200,000. Because the person that bought a house in 2017 that still own that house, they up $200,000 in equity today. That's a fact. Which another thing is, I've been talking a lot about debt consolidation. I often say Black people are not poor. We just choose to spend our money in other places. But statistically, when we start talking about different careers and things like that, there's a correlation. But how do I say this? I want to say it politely because I really don't intend to offend anybody.
We're not polite over here, Joy.
Come on, say it.
But I find it I find it disturbing that there is no limit on the amount we'll spend on an automobile. But when it comes to where you choose to raise your children and lay your head at night, all of a sudden you cost conscious. It's weird to me. And what has happened is equity is the difference between what the value of the house is and how much you owe. If you only bought a $150,000 house, you don't have as much equity as the person that went out and they got the $300,000 house. Does that make sense? Like, it translates into actual real dollars. And so I get on the internet and I'm like, oh, you can, do cash out refinance and debt consolidate. Child, the people ain't got enough equity to do no debt consolidate because they bought down here. And it's just, again, but no cap. Oh, that's my Mercedes. What's this? You got $1,400 a month payment. I know what it is. I can see on the credit. That's my Mercedes. Okay, well, what's this same credit report? This $843. Oh yeah, that's my Camry. You got $2,000 of car. But then you telling me you want your house payment to be $1,000 a month?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, you don't think that's odd? Like, it's just very interesting to see these things play out in real time every single day. I'm not saying to, be crazy with your housing budget, but people are so consumed with, I don't want to be house poor, but you're poor. Like, you're poor. You're poor. Like, it's, come on. Like, if the money, it doesn't matter if the money's going to Big Bird or Mickey Mouse, it's still leaving out of your bank account every single month.
This is what Joy just pulled up and did, Trey Ferg. I dog, Joy.
Sure, no. I believe.
Talk about you care more about your car than your.
I believe people know.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I believe people know a lot of times when they come to the table looking for a house, they understand what their overhead is. They understand. They play dumb when they know it ain't gonna work. Oh, I didn't know. They knew. One thing I know about black folk, when they get their mindset on doing something, they ass do more research than goddamn Albert Einstein. And when it don't work, I didn't know that was like that. I said, man, you've been talking about buying a house for 3 years. You ain't. They know. They just don't want to look bad, and it looks bad when they go and they start having people dig into their credit. Because one thing black folk do, we get 30. Goddamn it, we pulling credit reports. What's my credit score? But they already know they got that overhead. They know it. They just come in with a little bag. They got a little money, $6,000, $8,000. They probably got it at the casino. Now I'm gonna get a house. But for the most part, we be scheming.
It's wild, but it's true. It's something that, like I said, nobody's on the internet today talking about how they made a bad decision buying a car, but everybody's screaming on it. I wish I wouldn't have bought that house. It's very disappointing. It is very, very, very disappointing to know that that's really how people think and feel. But they, like I said, they ain't got no problem whatsoever with the car. I'm like, them car people scammed you already. Don't worry about me scamming you. Or better yet, please let me scam you too. Look, it's my let me scam you too. Let me get in on it. It just, I don't know, but it's very true. Now, I have backed off of, like, browbeating people about cars and car payments, because it is what it is at this point. Like, you can't help how much these cars cost. There is no such thing as a cheaper car. You can't help, the interest rate is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. You really literally, just like with the house, it's a little frustrating to me being in the business when I hear people say it's almost like people are on the sidelines rooting for other people's failure. Yes. And they're like, well, you should have bought something in your budget, something cheaper. That was their budget. That was the cheaper. If there is nothing less than 300,000 in the area, then that's just what it is. That's it. I'd rather the person, I ain't gonna hold you. Rather somebody roll the dice and gamble hoping to get to the other side than being like, nah, it's okay. And just not even taking the chance at all. I'm just that's what it is right now. And it's disappointing, unfortunately, that we're just when I said earlier, I wonder like, is my life gonna be the way it was before? Because everybody can't buy a house. We're never gonna see the same number of units be sold because there is no $190,000 3-bedroom house in Charlotte. If you can't buy it, you can't buy it. You're out of luck. You out of there. And to TJ's point, he always like black people make less. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know what that looks like. I have no idea.
We know what the answer is, but we're not willing to do it anymore, which is we gotta go out here and make a deal with somebody and get up under the same roof. But ain't nobody willing to make a deal. Ain't nobody willing to make a deal. Everybody want to be the boss. Everybody wanted to go their way. Everybody want to, yeah, we need to make a deal. I mean, let me tell you something. If things keep going the way they're going, we're going to be forced to make a goddamn deal. I'm just saying. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, I told somebody, I told one girl, one woman, I said, look, he got all he need to do is have good character, good hygiene, and you can screw him in the dark.
In the dark. Damn.
He gotta look good. He gotta look good with the lights out. Stop it. That's where we're.
That ain't gonna be my testimony.
That's where we're at.
I'm just laughing at it. I ain't with that.
That ain't gonna be my testimony.
That's where a lot of us at. That's where a lot of us at now. Shoot, sitting out here talking about you still waiting on this phantom man in your or phantom woman in your brain. You better get what you can get. Get a good hygiene, good character, and they can.
So this what's the last part of your name? The mortgage boss. Oh, okay, boss. Okay. So I was reading some. I get these little emails from the VA. I'm a veteran, and I get things from emails from everything from housing, savings, medical, whatever. I was reading sometime early 2023, last year, like January, February, where normally within the country they were building a certain number of homes across the country, right? And then when me and my wife was looking to sell our home, previous home, the realtor came to us and like, what number we was looking at homes, the inventory was very low, very low. So they didn't build as many homes. And then I don't know if people bought a new home in the last 2 years. They used to offer refrigerators. Now they don't. You gotta get your own refrigerator. So, but when we were looking to purchase the home, of course, things had escalated. So we were able to make a nice profit from the sale of the previous home. And even, when we went to go buy the new home, we didn't have to put any money down and we were able to get money back. So our credit score played a difference. Our income ratio played a difference. And just when you was talking about that 2 years, there was some things on my credit. They were like, "You've been paying it?" "Yeah, I've been paying it," but the agency wasn't reporting it. So when I sent them 2 years, it was about almost 30 months worth of payments. That boosted my credit because they forced the agency to now
to report
put it on my credit, and it actually wiped it off. You know what I'm saying? Basically wiped it off. And now they're looking at higher scores. So the benefit afforded us because we were able to work together. And from what I've seen, I think I treat it like this, and TJ touched on it, one pot. I believe if I'm going to be in a union, you treat us joining together like Halloween. The first thing you do after you come in from trick-or-treating, you dump all your candy out onto the table or bed and sort through it. That's the same way I believed in getting a home with my wife. You bring everything that you have to the pot, and then we can sort through it and start separating where we need to put finances. And I didn't really understand it, because being single, I'm taking care of me. And I was able to maintain off. I was moving. But once I got married, then the way I was thinking and the way I got my wife to understand, and luckily she always was sort of focusing like everything about what we had sort of quadrupled in a short period of time. And now 10 years in, I'm blessed enough to not have a lot of the issues where people are creating for themselves just based off not willing to cut a deal or work together. People are literally choosing to waste their lives away in their primest time where they can work and build up that network, especially about a home, because that equity can just become like money in the bank, just building and building. And now the kids ready to go off to college. Nobody's offering any support to go to college. So I've seen it where they just sort of discourage the advancement just based off the fact that nobody's willing to work together and build it. So I'm scared for the future just based in this capacity because the homes it's minimal homes being built, more apartments. They updating all the apartments across the country. So with less inventory, you're going to have to bid for a lot of these homes, and with the average salary of what $59,000 in the African American home, pretty much those that are living in that life, they will always be subjugated for second best, living in an apartment, creating generational wealth for others. And it's going to hurt. Like what was used to say 2050, wealth could be a zero. We could actually exceed that and be 2040 damn near zero in our communities, which really is detrimental. So I don't know.
All right, guys, listen, this conversation is one of these that we obviously need to continue to have over and over and over again because I don't know, because it's important. So, Joy, I thank you for coming up. You guys hold back a second. I'm going to do these super chats because we've been up here 2.5 hours with Joy Bailey, the mortgage boss. Her links in the chat. And go over there and show her some support on her channel. Guys, hold up for a second. Let me get these super chats and then I'll talk to you guys on the back end. Hold on a second. All right, let me get to these super chats that I normally don't just hold off on. All right, who we got? We got my boy Kofa with $10 talking about that brother got his bank back. No, I ain't got no bank. All right, we got Blaze, support TJ, definitely catch you catch the replay. There was a lot of information, a lot of good stuff that Joy dropped that you guys need to take heed to, and please check out the infinite number of resources and that she provides on her channel. So thanks, Blaze, for that. He said he'll catch the replay. And then also Kosher, talking about great show. Thank you, brother, for stopping by. I pulled up over there yesterday. He recapped what I did last week on my stream. And then we got Messy with Sean in the building for a membership for 7 months. Thank you. Yeah, you late. I sent you you late, Messy, on that. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight with the Mortgage Boss and her Relentless series and getting to know a little bit about her and then also what she do and then information. She'll be back at some point. Joy will come back because we need the education. We need to do something different, guys. So without that, I'm getting ready to get out of here because it's late. It's late for them. I want to talk to them in the back. We're going to get up out of here. Thank you, guys.